Now, as part of its strategy to boost investment and improve lives of Deltans with a robust economy, the Delta State government has unveiled plans to embark on a trip to Abuja in Nigeria and Brazil in South America to woo investors to Delta State. This formed the kernel of a pre-departure joint press conference held by the Delta State Commissioner for Works, Rural Roads and Public Information, Charles Aniago, in Asaba, the Delta State capital. Aniago flanked by the Delta State Secretary to the government, Dr. Kingsley Emo, the State's Chief Economic Advisor, Barrister Agbe, the Commissioner for Agriculture, Val Areyinka, and his counterpart in the Ministry of Investment, Honorable Samuel Oligida, revealed that to complement the Delta State government's investment in physical infrastructure, conducive in business environment and human capital development, the Mo administration is taking a bold step to attract both local and foreign investors in agriculture, solid minerals and energy sectors of her economy. While Kingsley Emo, the Secretary to the Delta State government, emphasized the goal of the state's huge investments in physical infrastructure.
Road infrastructure in Nigeria. NSC puts the number of roads in Nigeria between 196 to 200,000 kilometers of road. 35% belongs to them. It means that 65% belongs to the states and the local governments. And you know that local governments don't do roads, given their cash flow and the resources available to them. So states have begun to take over this responsibility. And that's why we must continue to build roads. That's the emphasis on roads. And they have been so bad that if you don't do them, you can't interconnect. Our strategic intent in terms of infrastructure is not just on urban renewal, it's also connecting to the local communities and opening up those areas to mitigate rural-urban migration and grow agriculture and make those areas. That's where you actually have the land where industries can be located. And that's what we have done.
Action with respect to investment in infrastructure. And many a time we have asked why are we focusing so much on infrastructure and all that. Even at that, we also told you that remotely that a whole lot of these funds are also ending up in the hands of our people. But right now, it's not just remote. We are solvent, we also want our people to be solvent. And so our government is also taking further decisions to make funds available to our people, to bring in investors, to ensure that we open up other corridors, having created that enabling environment on account of the infrastructure that were built over the years. And so we will be heading to Abuja for some interactions with critical stakeholders. We will also after that be heading to Brazil, all with a view to giving vent to what we have done before, which is creating the enabling business environment.
On their part, the Chief Economic Advisor, Barry Gay, the Commissioner for Agriculture, Val Areyinka, and the Commissioner for Trade and Investment, Samuel Oligida, threw more light on the Abuja and Brazil trips.
Energy scale up, that's the program. And that program is, at the start, will be giving support to 25 communities in each state. And it is open for the 36 states. So Delta State has expressed interest to participate. As one of the eligibility criteria, a roundtable must be organized by the state in Abuja, and that's what we're going to do. That roundtable meeting will bring development partners, banks, and then private sector players to look at other members of the energy ecosystem, to be there, rescos, discos and all that, to look at ways through which we can now come back to implement that DARES program of projects. There will be selection processes when we get back to the state. But the good side of it is that it will give us the opportunity to also advance our intents in what we intend to do in the energy market along the lines of our energy policy and then the law that we just passed.
We have surplusage of cassava, and the major problem is problem of processing. Why is the processing problem is power. So with this DARES program, we will see our villages who are not even connected to the national grid being able to process their excess agricultural products. So that is a win-win for us, first for the ROEA meeting for tomorrow, as it affects agriculture. Then Brazil is about one of the largest agricultural countries in the world. They have the expertise, they have the money, and they have all the technology needed. So I'm going to Brazil is actually to leverage on their experience and their willingness to do business with Nigeria, which is also part of the BRICS bloc. The discussion we've had so far, we are going to work on more when we get there, is how to open up our areas, especially the lands that are all opened up, invest and build structures which will give employment to our people and also produce more food which we can even export. So for the Brazil meeting, we are doing cassava, which is a major product. We are doing tomato, cucumber, and other vegetables. But for the cassava, they are also bringing, we are telling them also to come and invest in processing plants.
Now, when you talk of going to this Brazil, what are we going to take from Brazil? First, we are going there to increase the investment opportunity in Delta States. 2, we are going there to showcase the potentials of Delta States, of what we have in Delta State. How do we increase the investment opportunity? Now we are going to Brazil. We have already profiled all the investors we are going to meet there, and we know their potentials. And I want to promise you that going to this Brazil and come back is going to be an harvest of investors. This state has what I call the Bible for investors, which is the industrial policy of this state. With the head of the SSG to the state government, its guardian and its mentor, this state can boast of a well-positioned industrial policy in the state.